The images we are about to show you from Chennai will shock you. The by-elections in RK Nagar is a battle to claim Jayalalitha's legacy, and rival factions of the AIADMK are fighting it out. And this is an all-out fight in an effort to take advantage to gain sympathy. The O Paneerselvam faction of the AIADMK is campaigning with a replica of Jayalalitha's body in a coffin draped in tricolour, very similar to her mortal remains that were then taken to Marina Beach for burial. Earlier, the O Paneerselvam camp had been accused of trying to portray its temporary election symbol of an electric pole with two lights as two-leaf symbol of the AIADMK. Sasikala's nephew TTV Dinakaran has spoken out, saying it is a disgrace to Jayalalitha's legacy to use a replica, a dummy of a body to campaign for votes and seek sympathy. India Today's editor Shiv Arur now joins me for more on this story. Shiv, is this a new low in Tamil politics, quite desperate to get sympathy votes?
I think this is, precisely the kind of tamasha, the kind of, political desperation that, I personally was expecting to see in the RK Nagar bypoll. Remember, this is Jayalalitha's very own seat. Emotions are already running high. The O Paneerselvam camp, which, had really smelt power, smelt a lot of public support during the entire Sasikala phase, has had to relinquish all efforts as far as grasping that power is concerned, because now you have the Palanisamy chief ministership in place in Tamil Nadu. But as far as the RK Nagar bypoll and that particular seat is concerned, the depths to which both sides have dwelt in the last 72 hours, Gaurav, is perhaps symptomatic of just how high the stakes really are. In a state where politics is inherently very, very cinematic, very, very dirty, very, very no-holds-barred, even compared to other parts of the country. And this is a very political country, as you know.
Yes.
Tamil politics has frequently, touched dangerous and sickening new lows. This one is a special one. It's not unseen. There have been in cases in the past where the corpse of MG Ramachandran was once used quite memorably, during one election in the past as well, to invoke the memory of the great leader of the AIADMK. But putting up this, a dummy of Jayalalitha's remains to garner votes and gain sympathy in RK Nagar, I think you rightly describe it as a new low. It's amazing how they're able to plumb these new depths with each passing day there.
And senior leaders of the AIADMK are there next to that dummy. Stay with me for a moment, Shiv. There's more breaking news that's coming in. Now, the E. Palaniswamy faction of the AIADMK is all set to file a complaint with the Election Commission against the O Paneerselvam faction for using Jayalalitha's dummy, a replica of that coffin, which has been put on the bonnet of a jeep, and two electricity poles. Now, two-pole symbol, like the two-leaf symbol, is quite right at the head of this dummy. I quickly want to bring in India Today's Pramod Madhav for more on this. Pramod, tell us the reaction first of when the EPS faction is filing this complaint, and two, how are people on ground reacting to this?
Gaurav, this move by Team OPS can be considered as the lowest of all they could do, and this has definitely pushed them back really behind in the race for RK Nagar. Now, we spoke to Team OPS. As shocked we were, we asked him what exactly happened. It seems like even OPS was not aware of such a campaign like that. They were totally shocked. They're like saying that they are really embarrassed that a person whom they call as Amma and who they show that they have so much respect for her has been used in such a manner. And on the other side, Team EPS OPS is going to definitely take advantage of this reaction. TTV Dinakaran clearly mentioned that this is a way of bringing disgrace to the honor of Jayalalithaa, and they're going to definitely file a complaint against Maffai Pandirajan, who was standing next to Alagu Tamilselvi in that jeep that was carrying that dummy coffin, and the other person being Team OPS, and they are calling this as the dumbest thing anybody can do in a campaign, Gaurav.
Okay, keep tracking that story. For the moment, Shiv Arur and Prabodh Madhav, many thanks for joining me here on India Today. Okay, we have more news coming in on this story. We're staying with it for a moment. And A. Tamilselvi now joins me on the phone line. Sir, can you explain to us why this replica was made, why this is being used?
Yeah, see, this is a replica of Amma's death. Okay, it's not a effigy actually. It is a replica, a representation, an imitation. We can say it's a statue, a doll of Amma. It is made by me specially and used for the campaign purpose because Amma was dead. We don't know the reason. Nobody is coming out with the reason, the mystery behind Amma's death. So I wanted to ask people the reason behind Amma's death. I wanted justice from the people. So if they vote for against us, then what would happen? We will not get justice for Amma's death.
Ma'am, TTV Dinakaran has been quoted as saying it's a disgrace to Jayalalitha's legacy that you're using a replica or a dummy to get sympathy votes, ma'am.
No. See, he will say like that only because he is the one who's responsible. He's the second suspect in Amma's death. So definitely he'll say that only. Okay.
Okay, I don't know on what basis are you saying that, ma'am. India Today does not subscribe to that view. But also tell me, ma'am, that Rajya Sabha MP DMK's Kanimodi is also saying that you should show respect. This is being very desperate for votes, ma'am.
Yeah, but they'll say because they are running out of tension now because 2 days close to election, so they don't want anyone to vote for us. So definitely they will do some negative campaign only on this issue particularly. Nobody is going to encourage it because this is the truth, this is the fact that we are doing, right? So these oppositions will not encourage because they don't want the votes, last minute votes to come for us. So definitely they'll be opposing only.
But you don't think that there is something wrong, that this is very desperate, that this should not be done? You know, she passed away in very tragic circumstances, Jayalalithaa, and you're using a replica of the coffin to get sympathy votes?
I don't think we are not asking for sympathy votes. It is a truth that I wanted to show to the people, right? It is not a sympathy vote. If they are willing to vote for us, they can vote. We are not going and asking for sympathy votes, but it's the truth I just wanted to come out with. We are asking for justice for Amma's death.
Right. Ms. Tamilselvi, for the moment, many thanks for joining me here on India First. I now want to shift focus. I want to talk about CRPF braveheart Chetan Cheetah's wife, Uma. She's hit out at former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Farooq Abdullah over his comments that stone pelters in the Kashmir Valley are nationalists. The CRPF braveheart survived being shot 9 times in an encounter with terrorists where stone pelters were actually giving cover fire to these terrorists. He was discharged from AIMS. Now listen in to what she has to say.
टूरिज्म हमारी जिंदगी है, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है, मगर वो जो पत्थर फेंकने वाला है उसको टूरिज्म से कोई मतलब नहीं है, ये समझ जाइए, उसको टूरिज्म से मतलब नहीं है, वो भूखे मरेगा मगर वो वतन के लिए वो पत्थर मार रहा है, ये समझने की जरूरत है.
But where is Farooq Abdullah tonight when it's the Indian Army that's rescuing people who are trapped in flood waters in the Kashmir Valley? That's the reality of Kashmir. Let me also show you one more side of the Indian Army. This is the story of a soldier who defied death and hostility. He saved lives, but more than saving lives of 2 children, he won 1 million hearts. He has many names. Little brother Pillai is one name, Solar Soldier is another name. But let's now talk about Colonel DPK Pillai. He's no ordinary man. He was grievously injured. He was shot in the chest, shot in the stomach, had a grenade injury in his leg. He was about to die, but he also saw that in that crossfire with NSC and IM terrorists, 2 children, young kids, were grievously injured. When the helicopter came, he said, rescue those children first. That changed the lives of those children and of many others in Manipur. Take a look. For Shaurya Chakra awardee Colonel DPK Pillai, this moment is the soldier's real medal, winning the hearts and minds of his countrymen and women, citizens who he is meant to serve and protect. Pillai Pamai, or little brother Pillai from Kerala, is God for people of Longdipabram, a small village in Manipur. These tears flow as the brave soldier and the entire village remember the night of January 25th, 1994, when he lay bleeding. He'd been shot in the chest, arms, abdomen and feet. 23 years, that one moment when this soldier stared fearlessly at death, yet saved the lives of 2 young children injured in the crossfire. Both are now grown up. While waiting for a helicopter to rescue him, the brave young officer spotted 2 children who'd been shot at and injured and decided to put their safety first.
He is the one who replaced our traditional warriors. I want to give him the title Malant, which means the person who safeguard, the person who defend, the person who promote the village.
Then a young platoon commander of the 8th Battalion of the Guards Regiment, Pillai suffered grievous injuries during a 3-hour-long gun battle with the NSC and IM insurgents. The 26-year-old took bullets in the chest and arms, suffered a fracture in the spine, and a grenade exploded right over his foot before he fell unconscious. The hero has touched hundreds of lives, not just these 2 children. He even moved the NSC and IM insurgents to lay down their arms. The Braveheart is now a solar soldier, carrying solar lights for every home of the village. 100 of those sponsored by the Assam Rifles. A grateful village has now adopted their savior, offering him 100 acres of land, which he turned down. This soldier says he needs no land, only some place in their hearts. Bureau Report, India Today. Joining me now on the broadcast is Colonel DPK Pillai, or if I may say, Pillai Pamai. How do you get this name, Colonel Pillai Pamai?
The villagers adopted me as one of their own when I went back there after many years. The headman conferred this title as his younger brother.
The younger brother. Now, Pamai is actually the surname of people in that village.
Yeah, exactly. They're this is that Jayalalithaa belt. These are the Rongmai, Liangmai, and Zemai Nagas. So these are the Rongmais.
Okay. What was the experience like? It was in 1994. As a young captain, you were there in that village and a very hostile operation. You were shot at. So you were shot in the chest, in the arm, grenade injuries in the back. Just describe to us, what was it like? What was happening?
It was like the army had pulled out, and there was we had to get inside back and re-establish control there. It was 94, and these areas were all taken over by hostiles. And there was a news that they were planning to blow up a bridge and a communication tower. So I was supposed to hunt them down and track them. I managed to do that and landed up in the right village. Broke into the house, got a burst of AK-47 on my right side. Then he corrected himself, got it on my chest. Then he threw a grenade at me. Because we had entered the house, the grenade was absorbed by the door that had come off the hinges. Only a portion of my leg was blown off. And then he came and hit me with his rifle butt on my spine. So, God's grace, I was still alive.
And in this crossfire, 2 little children were also injured and grievously injured. So, the helicopter could have either taken you or the children, and you decided the children should go?
That's, one of the fundamental things that the Army, the National Defense Academy and the Military Academy teaches you is that the safety, honor, welfare of your country and your countrymen comes first. So there's no way as a soldier I could make a moral distinction between my own life and that of a child. I knew that there was a liability for me I may lose my life trying to defend the ideals of my country. But there's no way a child could be allowed. I couldn't have lived with the blood of those children whom I'd seen, wounded and lying there. So I think any other soldier would have done the same thing.
And this was a hostile village, an NSC and IM village at that point of time. It was considered a very hostile village.
Yeah, it is an NSC and IM stronghold, and the thing is, they were disgruntled citizens. And I think the strength of our country is that we would rather like to see our citizens reconciled to the idea of India rather than defeated by it. And I think that's what guides all our army's actions in everywhere. We minimize civilian casualties, use minimum force. It's not like the other side where you use aircrafts and drones. We don't use heavy caliber weapons at all.
Yeah.
So the idea is to use minimum force and to minimize civilian casualties.
In this case, so you were shot in the chest, you were shot in your arm, you were shot in the leg, you had grenade injuries, you could have died. 2 little children were injured in the crossfire. So when that helicopter came, you said take the little children to safety. They would have died had they not gone, is it?
Yeah, it's about 6 hours. Even now it takes as much time. The road has just been sanctioned. It takes as much time to reach there. The loss of blood would have made sure the children wouldn't have survived.
Okay, and that had a profound impact on that village.
Yeah, it would, because humanity and compassion and peace triumphed over violence and vengeance. I think
now,
that's...
Just this month, you've been to that village again. Was it for the first time? Tell us what happened when you went back to that village.
I always wondered, whenever I saw small children, I was young that time, I was 26, and when I was small children, I always wondered what happened to those children. It was in 94. In 2010, a friend of mine was commanding a brigade. He sent a patrol there to that village, and he found out, and then they said, yes, there was a captain who was shot here and everything. Then they called me back. And I really thought it would be a one-off event. I just thought I'd go. But the love and the affection and the blessings that they gave me made me want to go back again and again. And the chief, when he came to know that I'm retiring, he says, why don't you make a visit to that village?
You went there recently.
Yeah, just...
Now, when you went there, what was it like? I believe they offered you some 100 acres of land. They've made you a citizen. I mean, you're a citizen of India, but they made you a member of that village and gave you an Aadhaar card or something.
Yeah, voting rights for me and my children, and they gave me land. But I said, more than the land, I value the place that they've given me in their hearts. I think that's more important. They are very magnanimous, they are very nice, and they all pray for me. And the best thing is that whatever the village prays for comes true.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so they said they wanted a road connecting this village. They wanted a truck, and we asked the MHA. There was Shambhu Singh, who was the DC of Tamenglong when I got shot. He was later the Joint Secretary Northeast, and GK Pillai was the Home Secretary. He immediately granted it. Now they said they wanted a road for the truck to reach the village.
Okay.
And Mr. Gadkari sanctioned a national highway, all of 100 kilometers connecting Longdeep-Abram, like as a reference point. It is between Peren and Kohima and Tamenglong on the other side. It's all of 100 kilometers, national 2-lane highway. So it's going to be on the map, on the highway map of this country.
So this village, back of beyond, it prayed that it gets a road. And you then contacted the Surface Transport Minister, and a road has been sanctioned.
Yeah, he was most magnanimous in sanctioning it straight away. The villagers do a prayer for me, and they say that you shouldn't... I don't think anyone can beat my record of being in Delhi. They pray for me. I've been here for 13 years, and they said that you won't move out of Delhi till you accomplish all that you need to do for us.
And now you, so more than Kerala, you are a Manipuri. So what are you? Are you a Keralite or are you a Manipuri?
I'm an Indian. Indian first, India first.
India first. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So this 100 acres of land that this village has offered you, and the Aadhaar card and the voter ID card. So this actually builds a bond. So will you keep what's happening to those 2 little children who were shot at in 1994 and were injured?
The children have grown. One has become a mother of 3 lovely boys. The eldest boy is doing BSc in Dehradun. The boy who was shot was a 6-year-old boy. Is now he works in ICICI Bank in Imphal. doing well, and they're doing well. The village is, it's a quite, the sad part is this conflict has really inhibited the development that can come, you know, and there's a lot of things that can actually come if peace and development is allowed to take priority over all this difference.
Clearly, there are lessons here drawn from this encounter and relationship that can be put to use elsewhere in the country. That is all I have time for on India First this evening. Many thanks for watching.